Hello again, everyone. Mr. Hadley here. Today's art lesson is inspired by another story I really love to read, and it's called A World of Your Own, and it's by Laura Carlin. Now, this is a story I really enjoy because this story calls upon all of your imagination. It is really cool. What she does in this story is she actually creates, you can probably guess it, a world of your own using what I just said, her imagination. And that's what I really want you all to do today, is use your imagination, dig really deep inside of it. I know you all have it. So what we're gonna do is I'm gonna read you the story first, and then we're gonna draw a world of our own. All right? A World of Our Own by Laura Carlin. Hello, this is me, Laura. Standing in a line. I hate standing in lines. To make things more interesting, I imagine a world of my own. I'd still have lines in my world, but they might look more like this, or this, or this. Let me show you how I draw and make my world by looking at what already exists. Even in my world, I need to get out of bed in the morning. But I don't want any alarm clocks. Well, not any ordinary alarm clocks. I like to invent different ways to start the day. What gets you out of bed in the morning? Could you invent an alarm clock that you can see, hear, or even smell? To create my world, I start by looking around me. This is my house in the real world. First, I copy the basic shape. Then, I think of ways to make it more exciting, such as giving it a few more floors. That way, if friends come over to stay, they can have an entire floor to themselves. Stairs seem really boring, so I add slides instead, and bigger windows so I can see what's going on outside. I want a swimming pool too, obviously. I also want my house to be high off the ground in order to look very important, so I put it on top of a large tree with a rope ladder for getting in and out. And finally, here's my house in my world. Draw an outline of your house. Now draw where you would like to live. What's your house made of? Does it have walls or windows? How do you get in and out? Next, I like to think about what kind of neighborhood my house is in. Just like in the real world, some of my buildings in my world look pretty dull from the outside, but things aren't always what they seem. Take, for example, my office supply shop, which actually sells shoes for superheroes. And this is a house on my street that really scares me. But it's actually just full of kittens. Look closely. There are 131 in total. Inside this perfectly ordinary looking building are rooms full of all the people and animals I'd want to live near. I've designed the rooms in all sorts of shapes and sizes to suit the needs of each guest. For example, a giraffe needs a tall room, a bird would like a tree to sit on, and my brother would definitely want a TV in his. If you'd like somewhere for your friends to stay, take a piece of paper and draw blocks of different sizes. Now fill them in with animals or people of all shapes and sizes. Do your guests require windows, trapdoors, plants, slides, or swings? You might want to collect different kinds of paper, material, or patterns to decorate the rooms with. And you'll have just made your first hotel. My world has other kinds of buildings too, such as factories made of things. In my world, of all factories have to be the shape of whatever they make. This is so they conform to the building regulations. This one makes pencils. This one makes baked beans. And this one makes spaghetti. Choose 3 things you can't live without and imagine what the factories that make them would look like. Do they have to be tall or short or really big or tiny? Even in my world, you sometimes don't know what to do with the day, so you might need some public buildings to visit. They are called public buildings because everyone can go inside. You could go to the library and borrow not only books, but also toys, hairstyles, and even voices. Or if you're brave enough, you could go visit really dangerous animals. The most dangerous reptile ever. What do you like to do during the day? What places would you like to visit? How about a gallery of different noses or a museum of tree houses? Believe it or not, there's a school in my world too. I attend the first Tuesday of every month to learn very important skills, such as face painting and how to fit more than one cookie in my mouth at a time. Here are some other lessons taught at my school. What important things would you learn in your school? My world not only has spectacular buildings, it's also full of animals. For example, everyone has a dog in my world. Even the dogs have dogs. I've drawn each dog differently. It makes sense because, like us, every dog is different. Apparently, dinosaurs become extinct millions of years ago, so I've invented them back. Sometimes people think my drawings of crocodiles look like snakes, or my dogs like horses. I prefer to see myself as an inventor. You can be an inventor too. List 6 of your favorite animals or insects, draw them, or find photographs of them. Now, by cutting them up and rearranging them, you can invent 3 new animals. In the real world, we all look different from each other. Everyone looks different in my world, too. I draw and make them different ways to show this. I see a woman who's a bit shy, so I can use colored pencils to draw her softly. No such problem for this girl. This man is strong and confident. He needs a solid and strong line to tell you so. And this man is just sunburned. This person looks a bit glum. You can tell by his hunched shoulders. But it's okay. This boy is rushing to keep him company. And to make him look like he's in a rush, I've drawn him quickly and with energetic lines. You can tell a lot about a person by how you draw or make them. This is my dad. He's on a straw because he's very tall and slim. Granny is old and fragile and sometimes falls down. So does my baby brother. And here's my mom who's tiny. Now think about 3 people you know. How could you draw and make them to show what they look like? It's important not to have traffic jams in my world. People tend to get angry in traffic jams. One of my favorite forms of transportation in the real world is the train. I may as well improve the train from my world because I can. So in order to get a better view, passengers are allowed to sit on top of it. And it can be any shape I like. In fact, it can be the shape and size of all my favorite animals. What is your favorite type of transportation? Can you think of ways to make it even better? Before I go to bed, I look over the world I created today, and I'm pretty sure friends will want to visit, so I'm going to create a flag so that my world can be seen from far away. My flag has to represent my world, so I've chosen 5 of my favorite things to put on it. I also only use 3 colors. This makes it look more sophisticated. Tomorrow I can start again and make a whole new world. You can start your own world as soon and as many times as you would like. And don't forget to look at real life for inspiration. Is that a lamppost you can see outside your window? Or a tower? Or just an uptight snake? Thank you so much for following along with the story. I really love this book, A World of Your Own by Laura Carlin, because I just love, again, how much it calls upon your imagination. This book calls upon, how you want the things that you see in real life to actually look. Meaning that what Laura Carlin does is in the story, she sees real life things like cars or people or food, favorite things of hers, and she transforms them into things to make them her own, right? For instance, let's go back in the story just a little bit, all right? Right here, actually. Right here. In this story, she's creating factories made of the things that the factories actually make. I think that's brilliant. Look, this factory makes pencils, and it's the shape of a pencil. And the baked beans, and the spaghetti factory, I think that's awesome. So, in order to do this drawing, again, you can make this drawing however you want to make it. I'm just going to show you one way of how to go about this project, okay? All you're going to need for this project is a paper and a pencil, all right? Something to draw on and something to write with. So before we actually do get to the drawing part, though, I want us to think about what Laura Carlin said in the story. At the very end of the story, she wrote rather, "Tomorrow I can start again and make a whole new world. You can start your own world as soon and as many times as you like. And don't forget to look at real life for inspiration." So she gets excited when she sees things that exist in real life. Right now, while you're watching this video, look around you. What things do you see in real life? Maybe you see a table, maybe some books, or a plant. Maybe you see some puzzle pieces, maybe some silverware, maybe a couch, or maybe some pillows on that couch. Maybe some stairs, you walk down the stairs, maybe you see a lamp, maybe you see a toothbrush, or a brush for your hair, perhaps. This brush is kind of broken, but it's okay. Maybe you see some windows too, and the more you look out the windows, maybe you see some rain or some cloudy skies, and the more you look out that window, you might see some leaves. The more you look at those leaves, maybe you see some trees, or maybe you see a truck with really big wheels, or maybe you see some buildings outside, or maybe some cars on the road, or just a road, or maybe you see the woods. That was a lot of things, but I really just want you to start to think about, everyday objects, everyday things. Again, I want you to look around at things that you see right now, and how could you draw them the way that you want them drawn? Would you draw them smaller? Would you make them bigger? All right, so let's get to this drawing. Again, you only need a paper and a pencil for this. All right, this is only one way to go about this lesson. You can make it your own. You don't have to do it this way, but the drawing should be a world of your own. All right, let's get started. All right, so here is my piece of paper, something to draw on, and I have my pencil here, something to draw with. So the first thing you're going to do after you have those materials is write your name on the back and then flip the paper over, all right? And then what I want you to do is I want you to pay attention to this right here, a world of my own drawing of a world of my own. So what I really can't stress enough to you all is, use your imagination. Use what things that you can already see around you right now in your drawing, right? Maybe it's not just inside. Maybe there are windows and you can see outside, the trees, the sky. What color is the sky? What color is it not? Maybe you can see the grass. Maybe you can see chairs or desks, something like that, all right? Remember the things that I showed you just like a minute ago? Yeah, there were a lot of things there. So what I did was I used those things that I saw in my real life, just like the story says. Use real life for inspiration to make the world of your own, all right? So you're not just making things up here. Although in some sort of way, you kind of are, because you're using your imagination for this drawing, which is what I really, really want you to do, all right? If you want your drawing to look something like this, you can have it look something like this, all right? I'll go over that with you. But if you want to do your own drawing, if you want to make this your own drawing completely, that's totally fine too. If you want to fill up this whole paper with a world of your own, things that you like, things that you're inspired by, you go right ahead, okay? But I'm going to show you, all right, just one way of how to go about this, all right? And this is the example from that, all right? So again, you can totally start drawing this however you want to. Remember, it's a world of your own. Think about things that exist in real life and fill up the whole paper, please. I want to see your papers filled up, all right? Spend some time on this drawing, all right? You don't need to do it just in one sitting, all right? You can sit down, work on it, get up and work on it again, okay? So first thing I did after I wrote my name and flipped the paper over was this. I actually folded my paper like this, and I'm going to tell you why in just a moment after I'm done with these folds. Folded it like that, crease it down, and I fold it back up like this. Crease it, and one more time. And then you fold it out. And why did I make those folds? Well, sort of like in the story, you know, this page right here. Well, she talks about making a hotel, and hotels have different what? They have different rooms, right? So I thought about making my own world based on having different rooms, all right? My world has different rooms and different things are going on inside those rooms. Now, do I draw something different in every single one of these rectangles? No, I don't, because this is my world, all right? I want my world to look the way that I want it to look, all right? So for example here, in my world, in this room right here, plants grow upside down, sideways, and from the ground, right? And in my world, in this room right here, books are flying everywhere. You can actually get on this book and fly around the room. And in my world, underneath the trees and where the books are flying is an underground ocean with whales, huge big whales. And in my world, underneath this whales in the ocean are floating ice cream cones. I thought about my favorite foods here. Floating ice cream cones and giant balls of spaghetti. They kind of look like balls of yarn, but I love spaghetti. And also, in this part, in my world, it's actually raining Parmesan cheese. Those are what the little dots are for. But the Parmesan cheese doesn't rain from the sky. You know how rain comes from the sky, goes down? The Parmesan cheese comes from the ground and goes up in my world. And in my world, in this room right here, the dishes, there are always clean dishes here. So all you have to do is scoop one of these dishes right in your hand and you can put some spaghetti or ice cream on it, all right? And the Parmesan cheese, can't forget that. And also, sort of like the Parmesan cheese coming from the bottom and then going up. These droplets here are actually droplets of soap and water, so the dishes are always clean. And the droplets are going in different directions in my world. The dishes are always clean in my world. And then right here, I have hammocks on wheels. I thought about what is my favorite kind of transportation. I thought about a car. So I put some wheels right here on the hammock, and I really, really like to lie down in my hammock. So I put a hammock on wheels here. You can use the hammock as a boat, or you can just use the hammock to chill out, all right, in between two trees. And you can also use the hammock to fly up above in my world. So these drawings are indeed inspired by different things, right? Different things that I saw. So the trees, I showed you the picture of the trees, the books, the picture of the books, the spaghetti, all right? The forks, the knives, the spoons, the plates, those are all based off of real things, right? So again, I want you to use what's around you, use the things that are around you, and make up kind of a story for them, right? What happens in your own world with these things? All right, so now I'm gonna get started with the drawing. You can make your drawing your own way. It doesn't have to look like this, but this is just to give you an idea of what it could look like, all right? All right, let's get started. So I'm gonna start off with this up. So I'm gonna start off with the upper left corner right here. And what I did was, this was the room where I had the trees and plants growing on the ground. I had things coming off from up above. This is a world of your own. Do you have plants in the world of your own? Do you have trees? Do you have leaves? Where do they come from? What directions are they going? Maybe you have no plants or trees in your world. I'm excited to see what your world looks like. Now, I could spend a lot of time showing you this drawing, but as a matter of fact, I don't want to do that because that would take a lot of time, and I only want this video to be so long. All right, I don't want it to be that long. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue drawing, but I'm going to speed this video up, okay? You can look back at it, at what I'm doing. Your drawing can look like this if you want to, but also I want you to get started on your own drawing. What does your own world look like? All right, so I'm going to speed this up, All right, you can follow along, it's totally fine, but also you can make this picture your own. You don't have to fold the paper, all right? That was just an idea to give you. You could leave it totally not folded and make a big drawing of something else, right? Your paper doesn't even have to be this way. It can be this way, or maybe slanted like that. What does your world look like on paper? All right, I'm gonna speed this drawing up. Now, as I get to the next part of the drawing, I really want to go over something quickly with you as I draw at the same time. Your drawing does not need to look perfect, my friends, all right? I'm sure some of you are frustrated and thinking that, your drawing's not going to turn out the way you want it to turn out. That is totally okay, all right? We're still practicing drawing here, all right? But one thing you can do in order to help you out if you're getting frustrated with how to draw certain things is you can remember your basic shapes. Remembering how to draw circles and squares, different kinds of lines, all right, is really helpful when drawing things, all right? But your drawing is going to look awesome no matter what. I really, really want to see all of your work. It doesn't need to look like mine. It doesn't need to be perfect. Mine certainly is not perfect whatsoever. No, of course not. That's not what art is, all right? Art is a sort of imperfect beauty, at least in my opinion. I'm drawing the balls of spaghetti now. Anyways, I just wanted to tell you that, do your best, please. Try real hard. I'm sure you are. And I really want to see your drawings no matter what. All right, I'm gonna finish this last spaghetti ball here. All right, I'm gonna speed the drawing up now, okay? All right, I just wanted to tell you that. Keep at it. Your drawings are looking great. So that is my drawing for today. As you can see, I haven't added color yet to either of these drawings. If you want to leave it black and white, you go ahead and leave it black and white. You can go over it with a marker. I don't recommend you use a really big marker. If you have a marker, I recommend you using a thin marker like this. Or if you don't have a marker or colors, I would love to see your pencil drawings. I'm sure they look absolutely awesome. I did go over this though with marker. That's why it's a little bit darker. So again, use your imagination. What things are around you? What things can you think up of that you could create to make your own world? What does your own world have, right? What do you want to have in your own world right now, right? I hope you enjoyed the drawing. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I'm excited to see all of your work. Thank you so much for following along. I hope you enjoyed the lesson. I know I did. Remember to send me anything that you make. I want to see it. Your project did not have to turn out the way that mine turned out. Remember, this is your drawing. I really want you to feel like you can use your own imagination for this lesson here, all right? A world of your own. Think about the things that inspire you, right? Remember, think about your favorite season. Think about your favorite kind of car or toy or color or food or anything and make it your own. All right, I really want to see all of the work that you make. It's going to turn out awesome no matter what, okay? So thank you so much for watching and following along. Look for the next video soon. I will see you then. Bye.